Welcome back. This is the Pulse brought to you by Different Drill. Now, as government reviews the country's senior high school curriculum, we delve into some details to understand how this new curriculum will support skill development at the second cycle level. Now, we've been engaging Professor Eric Anane, Director of the Institute of Education, University of Cape Coast, on the assessment of the new curriculum. And of course, that will end my part on the Pulse today. Listen as he go through this with my colleague, Pius.
So even before we unpack the issues with regards to our curriculum in the various stream of education, for you, what would you say has been your assessment when it comes to our curriculum across various educational streams?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at currently our curricula across various levels of education, the concentration has been on getting people to know more sort of knowledge base and less of maybe skill acquisition and action-oriented development. So generally, it appears that that is what the system is, and therefore it's very difficult for maybe candidates coming out of these systems or learners coming out of these systems to fit generally into the current trends of activities across the world, because we talk of different needs of actions and behavior, and for that matter there is the need to have a relook at what we have, because knowledge alone is not enough. We need to make sure that we do more than what we are doing now.
So if it appears that there is a need for us to take a relook at the current curriculum we have, again, it brings to mind that there are some loopholes, for which reason you feel it is important for us to have that relook. Tell us some of the lapses you've observed in the various or previous curriculum we've had.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, if I may focus on the senior high school, for which we are having a new curriculum, right? That's the new SHS curriculum. If you look at the reviews that we are doing, you'll notice that much of it is focused on getting student content, which is to be learned, and sort of student learning more of academic knowledge, or having academic knowledge. So much concentration is on academic pursuits, with training people to get into higher education and other things. But if you look at the design of our secondary school or the basic education system, after secondary school, you should be able to go to the world of work. And also, if you are not engaging in maybe going for further studies, you can also be on your own, technically, to move on with your life, to establish yourself in that sense. But if you look at current curricula that we have, or the curriculum for secondary schools, it does not give that opportunity for learners coming out or students coming out from such system to be able to meet these requirements. So you hear of many people complaining. Universities are complaining, colleges of education, nursing training, tertiary institutions are complaining. That said, if you go to the world of work, many of the companies will complain that when you employ people from the system, you need to train them or spend more money on training them before you can use them than usual. And then also you get many people calling themselves unemployed graduates in the system because they find it very difficult to sort of start their own things, because they haven't been given what it takes to be on their own, or to go into employment or to further studies.
So talk to us about the current curriculum we have across various streams of education, again, for which reason you seek to highlight for that reason. So talk to us more about it.
Yes, thank you. As said, if the current system is sort of knowledge focused, in that sense, you may have the focus also being on teachers as well. So we will say that the current curriculum seeks to give teacher more dominance in terms of what needs to be done to learn whatever has been arranged for the learner. That said, I must say that when it comes to curriculum development, curriculum is developed for students or learners, because whatever has been arranged in there is intended for them to develop such skills and competencies and behavior. And the teacher is to serve as a mediator between the curriculum and the learner. And for that matter, the teacher should serve as a facilitator more of than being the person who is seen as having to finish the curriculum. But if you look at the current curriculum design or the curricula that we have across our educational system, especially at the pre-tertiary level, and for that matter, secondary schools, you find that it's knowledge-based, as I've said, and that for that matter, teacher-focused. So we mostly see teachers as normally imparting knowledge to learners. And as I would say, teachers are not Holy Spirits to be imparting knowledge. Teachers are to serve as facilitators between the curriculum and the learner. Okay, so if that is what we want to change, then that is the main focus of the new SHS curriculum, especially to make sure that it becomes learner focused, it becomes learner centered, and therefore you have learners engaging in whatever activities that have been set out in the curriculum for them to be able to learn. Because if the curriculum is for them, then they should be the active participant rather than having teachers control everything.
And I'm learning inclusivity is one key component with this very new curriculum we are talking about.
Yeah. Yes. Inclusivity, and for that matter, making sure that every learner is catered for in the system. If you take our current dispensation, sometimes we tend to forget certain groups of learners, because if you come to our school system, we have different groups of learners within the same classroom setting. But in most cases, we design the curriculum as though all of us will be able to appreciate it in the same way. What I mean is that we have learners who may have varied educational needs. Some of the students will be blind, and therefore, if you are organizing activities, you wouldn't think of it as everybody having to see. And also, you may have deaf students in there, and therefore, you need to also make sure that you organize the curriculum to suit their needs. Even within those who may not show physical signs of these activities, you may have students who are sort of maybe have some dyslexia or other forms of some special educational needs that we have to cater for. So this curriculum, this new SHS curriculum makes provision for all these. For example, mathematics curriculum is being adapted for blind learners. That I think that is the first in its time where the curriculum is organized such that blind students can also do mathematics. We are also trying to, or coming out with the Ghanaian Sign Language curriculum. I think that's the first in its time, so that we help those deaf students to be able to learn effectively. The curriculum has also been organized and put in various formats. We have assistive devices being provided. We have also braille some of the documents such that other learners can have, and also organize the curriculum such that even within the classroom where you have different forms of learning, there is some differentiated activities provided to make sure that every learner gets what it takes to be able to learn to their potential.
Very well. So it appears this very new curriculum seeks to, drift away from the true and poor kind of theoretical approach, but based on practical. So on the surface of it, do you think that has that, potential to transform our educational system.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. For curriculum development, you often think of what you want the learners to achieve at the end of the whole learning process. And if the curriculum is designed such that it gives only knowledge, then it means that you produce learners who come out to sort of reproduce knowledge that they have received, as we said earlier. But this curriculum takes away the chew, pour, pass, and forget, as in Ghanaian environment we tend to know. And how does this do that? The curriculum is clear on the expectations of the learners, and therefore we say that it is standard based. So it has been benchmarked, and all the behavior expected is clearly defined through the learning outcomes and various content standards and indicators. And also the activities to be organized in order for learning to take place such that learners become active participants of their own learning and experience is also put in place. And also, if you look at the existing curriculum or the system that we have now, you could see that sometimes we organize the curriculum and later think of the assessment processes. But this time, assessment really has been at the center of the curriculum development. From the onset, we sort of thought of how assessment will be done within, that's formatively, making sure that as things are unfolding, we check and recheck whatever is being developed so that it doesn't become like after students are have left in the system, that is when you are going to find corrective measures. So all these said, you see that students engage in research, they engage in portfolio development, they engage in case studies, they engage in discussions. So these things are sort of helping the learners to acquire skills and competencies expected. And also, as you may be aware, one key characteristic of this new curriculum, SHS curriculum, is the introduction of the 21st century skills, which is consciously put in the curriculum: literacy skills, critical thinking skills, financial literacy skills, and communication skills especially, has been highlighted and fully integrated into most of the activities that are undertaken by learners. So this is really a transformational curriculum.
Transformational curriculum, you say, but I just want to find this from you. How have we been able to incorporate digitalization, IT, AI, etc., in this very curriculum?
Okay, thank you. So in developing this curriculum, the processes have been elaborate, consulting all stakeholders, including companies, IT specialists, and experts in the field, and so on and so forth. So at every point in time, whatever is needed in terms of digital needs or IT needs of the system is put in place. But one key feature is the creation of the microsite for NACA to host most of the materials that will be needed for this curriculum to be implemented effectively. And this microsite is often rated 0 or 0 rated. What it means is that teachers, parents, and all of us can access the materials there without extra cost or any cost to whoever is accessing the material, making it easy. Apart from that, teachers are also trained to be able to use digital tools and IT resources to be able to mediate or facilitate the learning that will go on. So there are a number of training sessions, some on-site, some off-site. When I say on-site, it means school-related PLCs, that's the professional learning communities, are organized, and teachers learn to relearn and unlearn some of the things that they have. And also where it becomes necessary, where teachers will have to be grouped outside their schools, it's done to make sure that they get all that is required in terms of their IT needs and incorporation of digital tools in their teaching.
All right, so I want to find this from you again. After all said and done, how do you track the progress of this very curriculum you're talking about?
Thank you. Yeah, to track learner progress, there are a number of maybe processes or stages put in place. One of them is the introduction of the student transcript portal system in the school. So again, for the first time, schools have been given an active portal system where students' information or biodata is captured, assessment information is also captured, all the activities students are undertaking are captured. And then at the end of their training or their 3-year period, they will be able to have a transcript which is going to be used for further studies or as further information for those who want to access the skills and competencies of these learners. So for example, if I'm going to a school and let's say we all have our certificates and our grades are, let's say, the same, we all have 6 ones, these transcripts will be there to give you further information as to what you can do extra, because you can do more subjects and drop them along the line, or there are character qualities and behavior that will be recorded on your transcript. So if you are a team player or you can collaborate well or you are creative, it will be shown on your transcript. This is not an academic thing. It is something about some soft skill that needs to be recorded. So in tracking students' progress, this transcript system gives us the opportunity to be able to do that, because varied forms of assessments are put there. Student portfolio. And student portfolio normally contains student samples of work. So if you want to know students' progress over time, you'll be able to track them from their portfolios. Again, they also undertake research work and other forms of assessments or studies. And all these will be kept so that if you want to know the progress of a learner or to track or gauge the learning progress of any of the students, you'll be able to have such information. So the transcript portal system is really a very good tool in the school, introduced in the system now, that will help us to be able to monitor and account for students' learning in that regard.
So, for how long do you intend to review this very curriculum you are talking about? The moment you begin to work with it, there is a need for you to also review whether indeed there is a need for us to update something or take something out. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Per international practice, curriculum needs to be reviewed. Sort of major reviews happen mostly after 5 years. But again, curriculum is a living document, and therefore, from time to time, new things may come up. By tomorrow, new things will come up, AI development, new technologies, new skills and competencies, and the way we teach, the way we learn, they are all evolving, and therefore, curriculum cannot be static. So, periodic reviews mostly will happen as and when it becomes necessary. That is the formative review of the curriculum. But major reviews, as we are undertaking, happens mostly after 5 years. But if you check, the curriculum we are working with at the secondary school level now is over 10 years. I think it's about 14 years now. We haven't really have a critical look at that. And if you look at the changing world and the sort of skills required within, now I must say that almost every year skill sets change, and therefore you can't keep your curriculum for that long without changing it. So if you want our learners to keep pace with the world and also the changing situations, then on the average, every 5 years, there could be a major change, a major review. But constant reviews are very important so that we can keep the living nature of the curriculum.
All right. So Other key components, and for that matter, the players with this very curriculum, would have to come to sharp focus, especially teachers who are the intermediaries between the curriculum and the students and other learners, and as well parents. How do you think these stakeholders, so to speak, can collaborate to ensure the effectiveness of the curriculum?
Yeah. I think the word is what you have used. Greater collaboration is needed because education delivery is a collaborative effort. No stick one agent will be able to do that. So on the part of teachers, I think series of training programs and resources are put at their disposal for them to be able to have the requisite skills to be able to mediate the learning process, as has been said. In terms of other agencies, for example, if you go to the ministries, we have NACA, which is the main developer of the curriculum. WAEC assesses sort of what has been done. If whatever we require the student to learn, they've learned that. NASIA is to monitor the and how effective systems are going on. NTC sort of gives standards and check whether teachers are behaving professionally. So if you check, all these organizations work in tandem to be able to achieve the effective implementation of the curriculum. And for parents, we have PTAs existing, and from time to time, schools give them information. And what we are doing is one of the ways of making sure that parents get a better understanding of the new curriculum and the curriculum implementation processes and what they need to do to support the better outcomes required for our learners. Because all in all, learners are coming from society or they are coming from homes. And research has shown that in most cases, about 21% of performance that we achieve in schools come from the background that students bring on board to schools. What it means is that parents and home and society, they are critical agents in the development. And we need to let them understand or make them aware that most of the things that they said, because during the curriculum development process, parents were consulted, communities were consulted. So whatever they said has been incorporated into whatever is being learned. And these are the outcomes expected. And this is what is needed from them. For example, they supporting the learners when it comes to resource, because government alone cannot provide all the resources, as well as the schools would need support also from the system. The school also have to give feedback to parents, as parents also give feedback to the school, so that we get to know what is going on in the system. So I can call it a loop that we all need to, at some point, give information to each other to be able to know what is required and where we are in terms of development of the key agent, that is the learner.
Is there any system in place to, give this feedback when it comes to communication with this very?
Yes, the student transcript portal system sort of give feedback to parents in the form of statement of results. So every term, students are going to get their statement of results. So through that, parents will be able to know what is being done. And then also there is a monitoring mechanism put in place by WAEC to check whether the assessments that have been arranged for learners are being adhered to and schools are complying with the processes to make sure that we achieve credible results or assessment results from the system. So that monitoring activity generates a lot of feedback for other stakeholders like the Ministry of Education and other agencies like NACA. NASIA also does monitoring processes. And from time to time, there are some sort of commission research or deep dives that are done as a way of making sure that we check to know what is going on, and stakeholder engagements are conducted to give information back to the system. So all these are there So we have dashboards in the system, for example, for the transcript portal system, where people can monitor whatever is going on in the system or in the school system.
So am I to assume this very curriculum you're talking about is enforced? Where are we with it?
Yes, very much enforced, because the process has taken about 2 years to do that. So the curriculum was developed, it was trialed in about 33 schools for us to know what would be required and what would be the challenges so that we cleared. And last year, it was launched nationwide. So now all first years are undertaking or using this curriculum, and it is very much enforced already. Some monitoring has been done, data has been gathered, and the outlook is okay, because this is the onset and people have started doing. But as we all know, we are coming from a regime, a system that has taken us years since independence, and that system has been in force. So it will be very slow in terms of changing whatever we've been practicing. But the monitoring activities are giving good indications as to, but there is more to be done, especially when it comes to the assessment system, because our assessment has been examination focused, and that is why this curriculum even comes so important, to change that course and to make sure that it becomes, well, students do authentic things. Authentic assessment is put in place to make students learn their practical things. So it is well informed. And if you take from the aspect of why, there will be another, I think, middle part of June, there will be another monitoring that is being done to make sure that the internal assessment structure organized, as well as the transcript portal system, is being sort of implemented as planned for us to be able to achieve the results. So it's fully enforced.
So this is not only peculiar to public sector schools, private schools, have they embraced it as well?
I must say yes, because quite recently, WAEC and NACA and the agencies that matter, NASIA, they engaged with private schools as to how they can also enroll the new curriculum, and also how to make use of the student transcript portal system. The one critical aspect of the student transcript portal system is the fact that students will be given a unique identifiers or numbers, and that number will help you to be able to transfer from a public school to a private school, moving with all that you have done. So if all of us are doing the same curriculum and you are in one school and you want to move to another, it wouldn't be difficult at all. You can just transfer your activities. Hitherto, that opportunity was not there, because even the continuous assessment were generated at the end of your third year. So there are instances where people were getting continuous assessment when they haven't done anything. Because they want to take examinations, they just go, as in code, they say, they cook for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the conversation. So all in all, what would you say has been your overall impression about this very curriculum? And going forward, some inputs you think we need to put in place and what we need to extract from it, so that holistically we can have a better, curriculum for our wards.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think my general view would be that this curriculum really seeks to project what, as a country, we want our SHS candidates to look like. So it will be the game changer. We want people who can critically think, people who sort of demonstrate our Ghanaian shared values, people who are creative and be able to support the economic agenda of the country. So this curriculum seeks to bring that. However, as you're saying, when it comes to such curriculum, it demands a lot of resources. So for us to be able to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves, we need to make sure that we really focus on providing resources to support the need. So sustaining whatever that you've been able to achieve so far. The indications are bright, and I hope that you'll be able to achieve the goals. But we need to make sure that we carefully plan and put resources in our education, because secondary school level serves as sort of a mediator between the lower basic and that of university. So if you don't get our learners to be trained well, we are all going to have some sort of negative effect at the end. If they are coming to the universities, there will be trouble. If they are going to world of work, there will be trouble. If they are going to live their life forever with it, there will be. But I believe that so far, based on what you have done, if you are able to become consistent and get resources together, we will be able to achieve the good goals of training people who are sort of wholly and well trained to be able to provide whatever is needed for us.
All right. Professor Eric Anani, thank you so much for your time, and it's grateful to have you break it down for us when it comes to our curriculum. I'm truly grateful, sir, for your time.